Ring of Honor World Championship match. And James, you already know what it is. Ring of Jericho. Honor is Jericho. The Ocho. 8 of them. Chris Jericho is your new Ring of Honor champion. Beats Claudio Castagnoli in a really good match. Crowd goes nuts for the finish. I saw some people upset about Jericho winning this title. They were sending out absurd memes on the timeline. Just pissed, not thinking not thinking it through, on how good Jericho's been doing, how good of a job he's been doing this year. Why this makes perfect storyline sense. And I really think they're gonna do the Daniel Garcia and Jericho for the ROH title at some point, and then
that could happen.
Garcia is gonna take that picture reminiscent of Bryan Danielson, where he has the ROH Pure title on one shoulder and the ROH World title on the other shoulder. I think that's gonna happen, and I'm really into the Jericho Garcia aspect of it. There's obviously the dopey Jericho wins the dead Ring of Honor title. I don't care about the Ring of Honor title, whatever. It's like they had Jericho do some pretty high profile losses in the past month or so. They had him lose to Moxley, had him lose to Danielson. So they had to do something for him here. And I think that it's a great option because it's a way to reward him for an awesome year. If you weren't going to put the world title on him, you can put that other belt on him. And also Claudio wasn't he wasn't lighting the world on fire as the ROH champion. He was doing a good job.
He was fine. He was fine.
We're not talking about Kenta Kobashi getting cut off at the knees here. We're not talking about Kazuchika Okada getting cut off at the knees here. Whatever. He can drop the shit. He can win it back. It's the ROH belt.
What I don't get is the last time Chris Jericho was a world champion, it helped launch AEW, and he is now I remember I made this analogy at the start. Who did Bruno beat for the belt?
He beat Buddy Rogers.
He's the Buddy Rogers of AEW, right? Ring of Honor is a company that Tony Khan or the Khans also own. And they do an occasional pay-per-view that draws 4,000 people. And at the top of it was Cesaro taking the belt off Gresham. What do you think the pay-per-view buy rate will be when Jericho's in the main event in some big program for that, and then it's underlined with the guys you already see kind of regularly on AEW in the pure division, like Moriarty and Garcia and Yuta, and then you have FTR there, whatever else. This is going to increase the buy rate. And also give more spotlight to the people that you don't already know in Ring of Honor if they build someone up in that particular in the TV time frame they have to do it or whatever else. So I don't understand why this is such a bad idea, considering it was they just had the belt on someone that was in their late 30s. And Chris Jericho is more valuable and can still give. He's not as good a wrestler as Claudio is at this stage, but he can still give you more from the perspective of everything outside of the ring that leads to the whole package of storyline build, credibility with fans, blah 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 blah, overness, da 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 da. Still put on a quality match in main event, and still probably have a better buy rate.
I think
I don't know. Look, I love Claudio. I love Claudio. I love Jericho too. If I had to start a promotion from scratch right now, this very second, I'm drafting Chris Jericho before I'm drafting Claudio. No just disrespect to Claudio, but Chris Jericho is in this country at least one of the 8 most valuable people in pro wrestling still, probably.
Yeah.
Claudio was never that.
Yeah, I think as far as the match goes, like I thought they put together like a real solid match. Like they were working with each other like very well, and just I think the lighting around this looked great. It was the start of the show, so it had like this haze over the audience. It was
I
outdoors. It
didn't
was
like the
shot
lighting. You know what it
beautiful.
reminded me of? It reminded me of, like, you see like those old pictures of the 80s and the 90s, and like you see like Sports Illustrated pictures of people on the hardwood,
Mm.
and like the background looks like smoggy, like there's a smoker section. We're seeing those lights, and it was like, why does it look ashy in the background? What the fuck is going on? And I realized, like, oh, they're lighting it that way. Why would they go with that choice? I heard people love it. And I was like, nah, I'd rather see like the blue wave or the red wave that they normally have, or lights down, whatever. But it did. I mean, I gotta say, while we go through this, like, uh, I don't know how to handle it, but it, as far as feel anyway, in a big arena, like when they're in the Forum, like when they're in the Forum or they're in Arthur Ashe, it feels like WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
It feels and looks like WrestleMania, as far as like they're in this big setting, or Clash of the at the Castle, or SummerSlam in the football arena. It just feels like, it feels gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
The building. I don't know how they, I don't know how, obviously, because, same thing with SummerSlam this year. Like, the building's not completely filled. They're obviously putting people on one side of the building to make it look like that, but it looks fucking packed and amazing. And they do an amazing job, AEW, NWE, like when they do these gigantic buildings, and maybe it is mostly filled, or maybe sometimes it's not. But like when they put everybody on one side, you can't feel. I mean, outside of like knowing that like you can't shoot a certain direction, right? Like you can't shoot like it's more like it looks like more like it's blocked like a stage or whatever else. It just looks like the way it's shot, like it just looks gigantic. It does.
Yeah. But yeah, like Jericho wins after a dick kick. He did adhere to the
Yes.
code of honor at the beginning. Um, but
he
he
was
did a cheap shot.
a troll
Yeah.
on Rampage after talking about like all the how he's all this honorable stuff, and it's like, bro,
Yes.
you just won the title with a dick kick. You're an asshole.
I love it. Kerry Silken got involved, and I have no idea what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
But he threw him down, wins off the juice effect. And Jericho's a champion. So yeah, shout out to Chris Jericho.
And
Never
another
count
yeah.
out Chris Jericho.
Yeah, and like this match was way better than the Danielson first match that he had on the pay-per-view. And it's like he 2 matches since then, he is basically like redeemed himself for that underwhelming match. So yeah, like he's a great like sleeper pick for Flair Thez this year.
Hey, you've arrived. I see with me here.
I mean, I was always with you. I just knew that, like, in front of Moxley or someone like, even like an Okada at this point, because of the G1 and the title win and the Wrestle Kingdom stuff, and like the Naito feud, like, just generally speaking, as far as like still being the face of that company, still being on top, still like just top level match quality. And I was having continuing a feud with a huge rival. Like I thought Okada had a great 2022. But like, as far as like, because of JAS versus like Kingston / BCC, like being such a creative force for WWE for AEW this year, it's like, and then now he's a world champion, obviously Ring of Honor, but it's like he's had these great big profile matches. He had a great feud with Kingston, continuing this whole year thing with the Garcia stuff with Danielson, continue with the Danielson stuff. Like, he's had a great year. And I think because people are still pissed about him being Kingston at one time. People are still pissed about that. And it's like, well, there's no MJF here for right now for these months. So like someone has to be the top heel.
Yeah.
Kingston's not the top babyface. I'm sorry, it's Jon Moxley. What did he do when he faced Jon Moxley? Oh, he lost? Okay. Or when he faced Danielson, oh, he lost? Okay.
Yeah. So up next,
you gotta like if the top heel can't beat like the number 5 or 4 babyface, and like what's the point of even having heels? Just turn the shit to Stardom. And I don't mean that in no bad way, because Stardom's kicking ass. Stardom's the number 2 promotion in the world right now. As far as like consistent quality. But my point is, like, either you're going to get some heat, sometimes you pay off some stuff, or just never get heat ever.
Yeah. So we got a video package